Are we ready?
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience, which this afternoon will probably require lots of patience as we manage those of you who are joining us remotely and those of you who are here with us in person. So a couple of things. We do want to make sure that we are maintaining our distance and mask wearing in the tent. Normally our banquet is full of lots of hugs, which it won't be full of physical hugs today, but we will be celebrating alongside all of you. Welcome to our first official tent banquet. This is new for us in our program. The weather really helped us out today, and we're grateful to be comfortably outside with all of you. Senior parents, we are so happy to welcome you and to have an opportunity to celebrate your incredible players and the last 4 years in person. And parents and caregivers who are tuning in from home, we are so excited to share this experience with you, and we look forward to gathering in person at a later point. So we're going to start with a recap of the season, and then I will call each of you up here, and we will recognize you one by one, starting with 9th graders all the way up to our 12th graders. Okay, so as I was sitting down to reflect on the season this year, a very distinct memory came to mind that I'd like to share with all of you. We were in the midst of one of our nomadic weeks, transitioning from turf to grass, and landing back at our half field at Greenhills. We sent our players off for a 10-minute partner jog with the task of finding the most beautiful leaf on campus. While the players were doing their run, we were busy setting up cones and preparing the practice. Soon, you started to trickle back in. Although trickle back in does not really capture the scene that unfolded. Look at our leaf! You exclaimed, each of you convinced that your leaf was worthy, based on vibrancy, texture, even scent. Then came the leaf bouquets, literal bouquets that you had made. And finally, a plant bouquet, dangling roots and all. This joyful scene makes me smile, but it also serves as a metaphor for our season. We showed up in August after being apart for almost 6 months. We set up cones that were 6 feet apart and stood in a circle so large you could barely hear me. We weren't sure whether or not we were going to compete or how we were going to come together as a team while standing so far apart. And yet, every day, you brought a resilient and eager spirit. Your collective energy quickly built momentum, and your gratitude for the opportunity to be together again out on a field hockey field fueled your motivation and desire to improve. You soon found your field hockey families and began to bond during competition days. You welcomed our 9th graders into this unfamiliar experience with patience, poise, and positivity, and you kept the faith. When we contextualize it, no part of this season was easy. We started off not thinking we were going to be able to compete. When we did compete, the teams we competed against had already been playing games for about 2 weeks prior. We didn't have a home field, and we were playing in the midst of a global pandemic. This is the less grateful aspect of the microphone and a swivel. And, well, given all of those facts, it would be easy to experience our season through a lens of scarcity. However, it was a season of abundance. Abundant joy, laughter, and resilience. This season, while technically short, felt full in so many ways. Undoubtedly, this is because you made the most out of each chapter of this season. Taking a task to find a leaf and coming back with a bouquet. practicing your lifts to get field hockey balls into the bag since you couldn't touch them, wearing an extra mask as an eye covering during team bonding. In each moment, you brought a balance of heart and resolve. Our seniors in particular led the charge in this regard, deciding to hold their heads high and be leaders, even while carrying the disappointment and uncertainty early on about whether or not we would compete. They led as a unit, purposefully carrying our team forward. They channeled their competitive spirit into rocket runs and organized team events to welcome in the new ninth graders and build a team that was just as cohesive and supportive, if not more, than in years past. Our seniors have each played many different positions and have had many different roles over the past 4 years. And their eagerness to step in wherever we've needed them has underscored their selfless leadership. This year, they formed our core starting lineup, working tirelessly and together during every single game. What an incredible legacy to leave. Once we did get the green light to compete, I learned very quickly that you all are a quick study. We learned from each game and implemented small changes each week, which ultimately led to our unbelievable performance in our final game versus DCDS. Before that game, I told you that we were going to have to play beyond what you thought was your full potential, and that you had to believe that was possible. And we absolutely did. Across the board, that was our best game of hockey by far. The journey to get there made the reward of such a high level of play that much more meaningful. As a coach, watching every single one of you play your best game of the season, pushing yourself harder than ever before in the service of your teammates and a common goal is the ultimate reward. That growth is more important than any final score. As I think back on this season, I am filled with gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to coach you, as it is the greatest honor and privilege to coach this team. Gratitude for the opportunity to be together in person each day this fall, a daily dose of joy. And gratitude for our 7 seniors, whose playfulness, brilliance, and work ethic over the last 4 years has made Greenhills field hockey what it is today. Working? Good. Today, I want to remind you that your teammates are your teammates, in season or out of season. You are always a family. It's fun when we get to compete in big games or gather together for team events. But what matters is how you continue to show up for each other during the little moments throughout your days and throughout your weeks. That's what matters, and that's what each of you has the power to impact. We start each preseason as individuals, and we finish the season together as a team. This bond holds. I'm so proud of you, and I have so much more to say about each and every one of you. But before we do, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our incredible coaching staff this year. So will you please join me in giving Coach Boaz and Coach S a big round of applause. Coach Boaz has been with us for 2 years now, and she has brought a steady commitment and focus to our goalies. Coach Boaz is their biggest fan and advocate, always pushing them to reach their full potential while praising them for their hard work. Whatever we need and wherever we need Coach Boaz, she will step in as a reliable source of support. I'm never sure what you all can hear from the field, but those of you who have been on the sidelines with us know that Coach Boaz rivals you as the biggest cheerer. Thank you so much, Coach Boaz, for all of your support this season. Coach S. Coach S was a new member of our coaching staff this year. He brings a true devotion to the sport of field hockey, alongside technical expertise, humor, and of course, exceptional skills himself. It didn't take long for Coach S to jump right in, immediately dedicating himself to the team and doing everything in his power to help us improve. Coach S balances a competitive spirit with a respect and appreciation for the kind and caring team dynamic we've established at Greenhills. Like Coach was, he's eager to jump in wherever we need him, but perhaps most excited when that means picking up his stick and hopping in a game. We are so grateful to have Coach S as a member of our coaching staff and team. Thank you so much for your help, Coach S. So on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Coach S, who's going to share some remarks with all of you and speak to the JV experience specifically.
Okay. All right, so I would like to give you just two remarks, I guess. The first one is I'm going to start with a little gratitude. I want to let you know how much this season and this team has meant for me. So, as you know, I came from Baltimore in July, and I landed in Ann Arbor, and you were my first community, right? So, normally you interview, you meet your colleagues, so I didn't meet anyone, right? So before I met my fellow teachers or students, I met you. It was a very warm welcome, right? It was at FGR, and a couple of you almost passed out. So thank you. I very much appreciate your warm welcome and type your notes next time. The second remark is an idea that I hope you all share. We as teachers believe that you're never too old to learn something new, that we believe that we are lifelong learners, and that's what we do. So once you finish with school, you will go to college, but your learning is not done, and you will keep growing and you keep learning. So I found myself here after playing hockey for almost 40 years. I've had hundreds of colleagues, dozens of coaches, and I felt like I've seen hockey. I know it all. But as it happens when you open your eyes and your ears and you're ready to learn and pay attention, I learned a few lessons myself. So, for example, I learned about an amazing type of leadership. A leadership by example that is selfless, and as Sydney put it on her speech, that it's not about authority, it's about the best for every player on the team. I've learned that you can be very competitive and at the same time very compassionate and not obnoxious at all. I've learned that in the face of adversity, you can be not kind, but very kind. Most importantly, and here's where my nerdiness is going to show its true colors, I've learned that it's actually possible to break the law of conservation of energy. Right? The law of conservation of energy says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transform, right? So, okay. So every process costs energy, right? Nothing comes out of nothing. And so when I go to practice and I start hearing everybody, I'm like, what are you doing? You're spending energy cheering everybody. But guess what? That energy actually gets applied and we end up with more energy than we started. So, hooray. So thanks for all those lessons and go Hills. All right, and regarding the JV season, talk about not having anything scripted. What a wild ride. I think the summary is that last game where we make the lineup, we're ready to go on the field, and my players go, what do we do on corners? We're like, oh my God. So it didn't look like we were going to play at all. And then we had 3 games, and with every game we just got better. And not only that, every game we played against a rival that was better and better, and we just rose to the challenge, right? Half the people have never been on a game before. They found their space. And with every passing game, we made more passes, we were more aware of where to be and what to do, and we ended up looking like competitive, fully spirited, and giving our all. So I'm immensely proud, and I can wait to come back and do it again, only better.
Thank you, Coach S. So before we jump into our individual recognitions, I want to thank our captains' parents, the Wang and Chow families, for all of their support this season, and especially on the sidelines. And I'd also, again, like to thank all of our senior parents for their support, the many rides and late nights that you have facilitated in order to make this experience a reality for your players. So thank you very much. So in a moment, we will be talking about each of you. You can stay seated while we talk about you. We won't make you stand up here with us. But once we are done talking about you, you'll come on up. Again, we can't give you a hug, but we're giving you a hug from our heart, just like Griffin. And we do have some awards to give out, so we will have you come up one by one. While we're getting that ready, I would like to invite you, if you do have a parent or family member here, to stand up and go say thank you to them. And if you don't, to please send a text message to someone who has supported you this season. All right, you ready? Awesome. Okay, so we are going to start with Annika Berry, and Coach S will be talking about Annika.
Annika, what an athlete. Still fresh on, I think, all our minds. All those Friday workouts when she totally kicked our butt. Whether it was sprints or that 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, Yeah, she was like a mile, well, she was a mile ahead of everyone else, right? And then she used all that athleticism during the games. She was forward, backwards, sideways, left, right, defending, throwing the stick, looking for passes, and cheering the whole time. So I know that at times we have to share her with swimming, but I think after this season the hockey bug has completely caught up with her, and that she will continue to swim a lot in the winter and the fall. So looking forward to another season next year, and to improving and getting lots of playing time.
All right, next we're going to talk about Ayan. Ayan is not today, but we are still going to take the time to recognize her. So, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but Ayan found me at 9th grade orientation and let me know that she was interested in playing field hockey. And of course, we had already been playing for a few weeks at that point. But I knew that Ayan was an eager athlete when she followed up via email, and she showed up at practice before her stick had even arrived. She was undeterred by the fact that the season had started and she hadn't even played the sport before. She literally jumped right into her first drill without a proper tutorial on how to hold a stick. We would all come to recognize this courage and drive within Ayan. She is a true athlete. She has a competitive edge, refuses to give up, and is eager and willing to learn whenever the opportunity arises. On the field, she is a speedy whiz who wants to be directly in the action whenever possible. Ayan, we are so lucky to have her, and so grateful that she joined our team. We know that she will continue to develop into a field hockey superstar, and we congratulate her on an awesome 9th grade season. Next, we are going to recognize Maddie Miller, and Coach Waz will be talking about Maddie.
All right, so Maddie, this is your first year on the varsity field hockey team, and I could not be more proud of all the progress you've made. From day one, you impressed us with your consistent, calm, and focused nature. You watched, listened, and learned diligently from Annie and Jade, and applied that to your practice. You channeled your energy and goalie technique every day to blocking out all the angles and clearing shots far and wide. With every practice, your clears went farther, and your reaction time got faster. In particular, you improved a lot in adjusting to the chaos of corners. You were a brick wall in the net, steady, reliable, and prepared for any shot. Maddie, I look forward to seeing how far you will go in the next years in field hockey. Congrats, Maddie.
Where are you, Sahana? Hey! All right. Sahana, you have all the qualities to be a forward. You have a sharp shot, you are feisty, and you don't believe that blocks apply to you as you keep driving forward. And more importantly, you have this bright red neon line blinking in your brain that says, score, goal, score, goal, score, goal. In practice, you've made it abundantly clear that if you find yourself in the circle and you have a chance, you will not shy away from taking it. So now all we have to do is feed you the ball in the games. So congrats on your first season on the upper school, and may many goals come your way.
So, what an absolute joy it is to coach Perini. Over the first few weeks of the season, I watched Perini come out of her shell and transform into a confident, hilarious, silly, and skilled young athlete. Perini earned a starting spot as right back early on in the season, and with the steady guidance of her experienced defensive partner, Riley, she quickly developed into a reliable defensive wall. We could always count on Perini to stop balls coming down our right sideline, just like we could always count on her to get us giggling our pregame jitters out with a math joke. Perini's bright, playful, and supportive attitude lifts up everyone around her. During our JV games, she played back-to-back without complaint, and she is a player who cares deeply about her teammates. Perini, we're so excited to watch you grow. Congratulations on a breakout season.
Amani, it's been such a pleasure to work with you, to see your quiet demeanor, your perseverance. That rocket you have for the drive when it works is amazing. And together with that pause and that calm that you show during the games, it's going to help you become an amazing defender. So I can't wait for the next summer to be back and keep working on lifts and aerials and sweeps and all the other things so that you will be all the player you can. So congrats on your first season. Well done. And Ali? So when I came to the States 20 years ago and I had no friends and no one to play, the ice hockey coach said, "Come play with us. It's the same." And no, it was terrible. It was horrible. My stick skills were junk, and I lasted I never. So all of that just to say that the way you transferred your skills to field hockey is amazing. How you trap the ball, how you dribble, that you have. I'm also at your willingness to learn new skills, and I'm really sorry that you missed out on the good part of the season because of your injury. So I'm looking forward to come back in the summer and keep learning new tricks. Congrats.
Okay, next we have Nicole. Nicole also made a big switch. Her switch was from dance to field hockey, and we are just so grateful to have her on our team. Nicole's natural talent, as I'm sure you all remember, was almost immediately evident on day one. She brought a strong sweep, endurance, and a competitive drive to every single drill and every single game. No matter what, we knew that we could count on Nicole to give us her all. In our JV game, she stepped in as our center mid and quickly began to dictate the play both offensively and defensively. Not only was Nicole an influential player this year, she was also an incredibly supportive teammate and friend. Nicole brings a balance of confidence and care to each of her interactions with her peers. Her generosity of spirit is palpable, and her teammates know that they can count on her to challenge them to be their best, to be their loudest supporter on the sidelines, and to leave it all in the field. Nicole, we were so excited to welcome you to Greenhills Field Hockey this fall, and we are so excited to watch you to continue to reach your full field hockey potential. Congratulations. right, Hannah, there's Hannah. So Hannah joined us this fall as a student to Greenhills, and I had the unique opportunity, as I had with some others of you here, to be her coach, her advisor, and her teacher. And it's been such a privilege to watch her grow immensely over just the last few months. On the field hockey field, Hannah quickly found her footing, and we saw her caring, playful, and good-natured personality shine. Hannah brought energy and enthusiasm every single practice and to each moment of every drill. In fact, Hannah occasionally ran herself right over the sideline in an effort to reach a ball. She immediately stood out to us as a speedy and eager player who was willing to play wherever we put her. Offense, midfield, defense, she was up for the challenge. Hannah is a team player who gives her absolute all. Her commitment really paid off as we've seen her grow into a skilled player and a cherished teammate. Congratulations on a wonderful 9th grade season, Hannah. All right, so we are going to move on to our 10th graders. And the berries are so lucky because they get to go first. So now, Anya. Where's Anya? Oh, I was looking right at you. Okay. So Anya is as you all know, steady, supportive, and incredibly hardworking member of our team. She is a student who leads by example and comes to each practice willing and ready to work hard. She is an eager learner and has really committed to developing her field hockey skills over the past 2 years. Anya is very tuned into her team and the game. I know that I can look to her when we are debriefing in drills or games. She always has an insightful and thoughtful observation or piece of feedback to share with us. Anya had the opportunity this year to play alongside her younger sister, Annika. As someone with sisters myself, I have been so touched by Anya and Annika's bond. They are kind, generous, and playful with each other. And Anya, you are such a supportive and reliable older sister, just like you are a supportive and reliable leader on our team. We're so proud of you. Congratulations. Lizzie, there's Lizzie, all bundled up. So to put it really simply, Lizzie had a breakout season this year. She quickly earned her spot as our right forward, where she excelled throughout the season, and especially in our last few games. Lizzie is an authentic presence on our team. I know Lizzie as someone who will fight for the underdog and who will stand up for herself and her teammates. She is silly and playful, but also deeply caring and real. Lizzie worked very hard all season on her elimination, cutting, and passing skills on the right sideline. And she tapped into a competitive drive that fueled her and our success on the right sideline. Lizzie, we are so grateful for the silly moments, for your thoughtful feedback, and your hard work all season. We cannot wait to watch you continue to grow. Congratulations on a spectacular sophomore season. Alina. There's Alina. Alina's love of field hockey is contagious to those around her. Her passion is evident in her unwavering commitment to her team. Alina is the type of player who will ask for longer practices, please. Her determination to keep improving and her endless work ethic in both practices and games demonstrates her love for the sport and this team. Alina comes to every single practice bright-eyed and ready to work. This determination is coupled with a high field hockey IQ, as Alina is an incredibly smart field hockey player. We look to her to find the passing patterns on the right sideline, and her steadfast presence as our right mid, alongside her teammates, ultimately became the strategy that differentiated us this fall. Alina's teammates trust her as both a player and as a person. We are so grateful to share in her love of our sport, and we are so lucky to have her on our team. Congratulations on an exciting season, Alina. Sydney Rosenberg. So as a coach, Sydney is one of those players that makes me so grateful that we have a formal recognition ceremony so that we can properly reflect on and acknowledge the intangibles that make our team what it is. After our final game, one of Sydney's teammates shared her appreciation of Sydney's stick work, her gentle nature, and her unwavering support of her teammates. I bring this up because Sydney never looks for or asks for this type of public recognition. She works so hard and will do whatever is needed to support the team without once asking for any praise or any attention for this. In fact, I don't know if Sydney really knows how much her teammates look to her as a role model and friend, despite the fact that this is clear to me as a coach. I have more to say. Sydney, you worked so hard in every single practice and game, and as a result, your skills developed every single day our season progressed. You are steady, smart,